Welcome back to another edition of All Chiefed Up. I am Steve and I'm here with Mike. Today we're going to be talking about yesterday's walkthrough and practice and a pregame analysis on the first preseason game against the Bears on Saturday. Before we get started, make sure that you're liking all these videos. Also, if you haven't subscribed yet, hit that subscribe button. Tell all your friends and family where to find good Chiefs content on YouTube. Hit that bell so you get notifications when we come out with new content, and we appreciate everything you do, Chiefs Kingdom.
Hey, we're just going to jump right into it today, guys. The Chiefs had a very light walkthrough kind of rehearsal practice on yesterday. Frank Clark did miss the practice due to illness, I think is what Andy Reid said. So he may or may not play on Saturday. We'll see. Fortson did return today. I don't think he ran crazily, but he did return.
He's been out for a while, so that's good news.
Right. Fenton still didn't practice fully with the team. I would be very surprised to see him play in the preseason game on Saturday versus the Bears. They did kind of work on their long drive periods today. What I did find was interesting, me and Steve was talking about it. Clyde, McKinnon, and Pacheco all worked with the first team. They said Gore worked exclusively with the second team, and Rojo was left with the third and the fourth teams. So what is up with Rojo, dude?
I don't know, but that's big stuff on Twitter right now. Everybody's talking about it. They're speculating, hey, is Rojo going to get cut? I mean, I don't really know the answer. I don't know if it's anything physical, really. I mean, we know he's a solid running back. He's not the greatest pass catcher in the world, but I mean, he's got some experience and he can run the ball. He's strong and fast, but I don't know. I'm starting to think maybe it's something more on the mental side of the game. Like maybe he's not picking up on the playbook. We know Andy Reid's plays are a little more complex in other places. Maybe he's not catching on very fast, and that could hinder him from making this roster.
I was kind of thinking the same thing. Maybe it's something to do with some of the pass blocking schemes or just something, man. But we'll see. We'll see how they treat him in the first preseason game. If he gets a lot of snaps, that must mean they are looking at him really hard to see if they're going to cut him or not. So the offense looked really efficient. That was one thing I seen today. And the rookies and the defensive rookies, basically, they all look really decent, like really good. That's going to be something to watch in the game. But yeah, that's what I seen from practice today. Another one small note: Prince Tega Winogo, he did work with the second team right tackle today. And Pete Sweeney says, "quote He's a sneaky dark horse to watch." I'm guessing to make the roster, the 53 man. So how about Prince, man? Like a guy named Prince. How cool is that?
Right. Well, like I was saying the other day, they're shuffling these offensive linemen around like crazy. I think Andy Heck's still trying to figure out how he wants to piece it all together. And I think he just kind of wants to see different situations because, I mean, injuries come up throughout the season. Offensive linemen, they're in the trenches, man. They're taking the brunt of everything. Anything could happen. So, I mean, it's only a good thing that he's seeing where everybody fits in and how he can do things in case something like that comes up.
Well, let's jump into the first preseason game of the season. Chiefs versus Bears on Saturday. My God, we've been waiting so long for this. Congratulations.
Football is officially back. I mean, we counted that as camp, but I mean, we're going to see a game, fellas.
Yeah, we've waited so long. We got that bitter taste. It's still in our mouth from the Bengals game. That was a disaster. It's time to get that out of our system.
Yep, got to move on from that. Yeah, so playing the Bears. We know it's a preseason game. The only thing we really know is that Andy Reid said that he wants to use a quarterback in each quarter. I kind of doubt they'll use a whole quarter for Patrick Mahomes. That seems like a little excessive. But other than just, the starters getting out there and getting a couple drives in, what are you really looking forward to seeing in this game against the Bears?
Right. As you said, it's fun to watch, but the outcome is no indication of anything, basically. This is big time for people that like us that love the depth chart, love to see the young guys. Like this is huge, so this is fun. But yeah, in the overall scheme of things, it's not that big of a deal. But what I want to see, defensive line play. I want to see how Karlaftis looks. I think I want to see Karlaftis get out there and get after it. That's what I want to see. I want to see what Dunlap looks like if he gets to play some. I want to see how Frank Clark looks. Does he look nimble? He may not get to play because of the illness. We may have to wait on that one. I kind of want to see what this defensive tackle room looks like now with that new addition of Shelton. Like, did they just bring him in for maybe this game because of the knee contusion with Stallworth? Maybe he couldn't play. They needed somebody to rotate. I don't know. This is what we're going to have to see. Right. So, yeah, that defensive line is what I want to see.
Yeah, that's a good point, though. But I think they brought in Shelton to put in significant time, to be honest. I think he's going to give Wharton and Noddy a run for their money on playing time because, I mean, if you watch his past tape, he's a pretty solid player. He's a big guy and he can really stuff up that line. So I think he'll put in some significant time this year, to be honest. And also, like you were saying, we want to see how these rookies get out there and respond. That's going to be the main thing to look for in a preseason game, especially the first ones. Like, how do they come out? What are they looking like at this game speed? Of course, it's still not going to be like top speed, like a regular season game, but it gives you an idea where they're at. But like you said, Mike, you point out the main thing. We really want to see how this depth chart's going to work out, and I think you'll get some hints after this first game. We'll know where Lonnie Johnson's at after this first game, or at least have a good idea. We'll know where Rojo's at after this first game, or at least have a good idea about that. And those are the big question marks that everybody really wants to know. So if anything with the Bears game, I think we're going to get a little bit of clues on those answers.
Yeah, people in the comment section on Wednesday's video, they are giving us crap about Lonnie Johnson, talking about why are we so obsessed with him? He's nothing but a fifth string guy. Like, he's nothing. Why do you all talk about him? Like, if you know Lonnie Johnson, he was drafted to come in and play as a physically like freakish athlete. Like, this dude should be able to beat rookies on our team. So that's why we're like, hey, we're giving up draft capital, be it a seventh round pick, but still we give up some draft capital. We made the move. We needed cornerback depth. I mean, it's great that these corners that Veach drafted come in and can and work. And that's one of the things that I wrote down that would be fun to watch in the preseason game on, Saturday. How is Williams and Watson and Najee? How are they going to line up? How are they used? How is Brian Cook going to be used? How is Leo Chanel going to be used? That's what we're going to see. But yeah, this whole knocking Lonnie Johnson, I don't get it. So far, he hasn't performed, but even as Pete Sweeney said, it may just be because of the veteran aspect.
It's not that he really hasn't performed. I mean, when he's been out there, he's not done anything bad, and he's actually had a couple of good plays. But with Lonnie Johnson, you just have to understand if you look back at his college years, he was an excellent corner. He was very highly wanted when he came out of the draft. He actually shot up the boards for everybody and ended up going in second round. But at the time, that was news to everyone. Like people that were outside of watching Kentucky football, Lonnie Johnson wasn't like a big name. And then all of a sudden, after the combine and everything, they seen this guy, start watching his tape. He shot up the rankings. Now, he did have to go to Houston, and we know that Houston is a bad franchise. They actually pushed him out of his position. They had him playing safety the last couple of years. So he was out of his wheelhouse. Maybe that hurt him a little bit, like losing that time. But I just don't see how he could fall off that bad. So I'm with you. I think people need to lighten up on Lonnie Johnson, and that's something that we're gonna be looking for in this Bears game.
Right. I wonder if Justin Reed kind of put in a word for Lonnie Johnson when he got here because they played in the same
Yeah,
secondary together in Houston.
absolutely. And Justin Reed's going to be a great addition, and I think that he knows that Lonnie Johnson has the ability. He's seen it firsthand. So I believe, yeah, you're right. I think Justin Reed had something to do with Lonnie.
So the last little thing I have for the preseason game that I want to see, I want to look at the rotation of the running backs. I think that's a big thing now that we know Rojo's down at the third and the fourth team. Um, I want to see how they do these wide receivers. I want to see what wide receivers come out and run efficient routes. I want to see how they win one-on-one battles when they give the chance. I want to see them make good catches. I want to see them hustle. I want to see them block. I want to see what receiver can like distance themselves and put themselves in a position to go into the next few weeks of camp and get themselves a leg up. Because right now we're kind of looking at Justin Watson to do that. We're maybe looking at a dark horse guy that nobody even talked about, like Cornell Powell coming up. He's had a nice camp so far. So very intrigued to see how that's going to play out with that depth chart. And basically that's all I'm going to be looking for on Saturday. Nothing major, win or lose. I just want to see how these wide receivers pan out, who runs good routes, what the running back rotation is, and how this defensive line and those rookies on the defense are going to look.
Right. I'm going to throw out a couple little predictions that I think is going to happen at the Bears preseason game. I think that you're going to see a lot of Isaiah Pacheco. I think there's a chance that he breaks off a big play and looks really good. I think in the beginning, Clyde's going to look crisp and surprise some people. Also, I think Juju, no surprise there. I think he's going to carry over from camp. He'll probably look really sharp beginning of the game. Same with Sky Moore. Uh, like I said yesterday, I believe Leo Chanel, Brian Cook, somebody's going to put a big hit on somebody. Somebody's going to get some energy going. get everybody excited. So I do really expect that defense to really take some time to come together because they're very young. But it starts right here, man. This is where we first get to see it. But so I just think everybody should be patient with all these rookies and let's just enjoy it and see how this depth chart's going to play out.
I got two predictions for the game. Both rookies. Karlaftis will get a sack. He's going to put to bed
Yes.
the whole. He's putting to bed the whole. He's not a pass rusher. He's putting it to bed week 1 of preseason. He's getting a sack. And then my second prediction: Josh Williams will get a pick tomorrow. He's going to continue the hype. I think he's going to get to play a lot because I think they really want to see what he can do. It wouldn't surprise me if Josh Williams don't take 40 snaps on the defense. That wouldn't surprise me. I think they want to see these young guys. They're not afraid to play them. I'm going to jump in with a little info on the Bears. We might not know a lot about the Bears if you're watching. If you don't know, that's fine. Like, who keeps up with the Chicago Bears? They suck. But anyway, yeah, they got a new coach this offseason. Matt Eberflus, I think is how he pronounces it. They got a new GM. He's from Kansas City. We all know Ryan Poles. So this is what's happening in their camp so far. I'm going to give you a few notes of their camp so that way you're on board with maybe what's going on in Chicagoland. Justin Fields is coming back. Season 2, he had a rough season 1, but they said in season 2, he's progressing. He's got all the camp hype similar to the Josh Williams of the world over in KC land. Yeah, they're saying that his progression is insane. And Peter King from Sports Illustrated actually quotes saying he reminds him of Aaron Rodgers. My God, that's a crazy statement. And I don't think that will be substantiated at all this year.
Yeah, that seems a little extreme to me.
Steve's speechless.
Justin Fields, he strikes me as a guy that might rush the ball a lot too and get outside the pocket. Maybe that's where he's getting at with Aaron Rodgers thing because he can get out and sling it. But I mean, I do think Justin Fields will be a good quarterback. Will that team be good enough this year for that to actually come to fruition? I don't know. And you have to think we actually have their old coach as our QB coach now. So we got Matt Nagy back.
Right. They also have some receiver problems. As you know, they picked up Byron Pringle in the offseason from us. Yep. He's out injured. He's not going to play. They don't know when he'll be back. They got N'Keal Harry, if you know him from the Patriots. He's also injured. They have a mess at wide receiver right now. I think Darnell Mooney might be the only healthy wide receiver they possibly have that's worth anything.
I actually saw a fake quote from Justin Fields earlier. It got me for a second. I was like, "There's no way this dude said this," but it was a fake quote from Justin Fields, and it was like, "Well, what do you expect when I'm throwing to guys that couldn't even be sixth string at Ohio State?"
Hey, he's not wrong.
Whoever made that, they're not far off.
Fake quote Justin Fields is not wrong. So some stock up players for them to watch in the game. They got an offensive tackle named Kevin Jenkins. He's supposed to look really good. So maybe we'll see George Karlaftis go at him a few times, see how Karlaftis looks against him. Cole Kmet, the tight end, come out of Notre Dame a few years ago. They said his stock's up in camp, and they got a young corner, Tavin Young. We'll see him. We'll see how he does against maybe he gets a matchup against Sky. Maybe he has to go against Hardman. I'm curious. Maybe he'll try to shut down Juju. That ain't happening, boys. You want to see that one. It ain't going to happen. And then the last little thing, Roquan Smith, their best player on their entire roster, probably middle linebacker, Roquan Smith, all-world linebacker. He's healthy. He's sitting at a camp. He come off the PUP list, showed up to practice today in a hat and says he's not playing. He wants to be traded to a franchise that respects him. And boy, we thought we had it rough in the offseason with OB Jr. over here. But yeah, so Roquan Smith, their best player, is holding out, says he don't want to play for the franchise. I bet Eberflus and Poles in their first year is probably panicking on that one a little bit.
Yeah, that sucks for them. One thing I'm excited to see is they do have a pretty decent running back in David Montgomery. So early in the game, maybe we can see how that run game is going to be as far as the defense goes with that defensive line. So I'm excited to see that, and I'm with you. I want to see Karlaftis get at least one sack because Fields is going to get out and run a little bit. So maybe he can get after him.
Right. So that's all I got on the Bears. The Bears are boring. Nobody probably wanted to hear that anyway. But you want to go into the game and you want to know your opponent. I think what is it? The art of war. Know your opponent. That's how you win. So yeah, that's how it works. And that's about all I got on the preseason game, man. I think it's just going to be fun. We're just going to kick back and watch it. Just excited to see football. It really don't mean anything. It's pointless. It's just something for the fans to be like, hey, Football's back.
All right, guys, thanks for being with us today. If you don't give a crap about the Bears and you really love the Chiefs, hit that like button on this video right now. Also, if you haven't subscribed yet, make sure to get down there and hit that subscribe button. We're almost to that 1,000. We're going to give away an All Chiefed Up mystery box to one of you subscribers, so that's coming sooner than later. Also, make sure you hit the bell. That way you get notifications when we come out with new content. And we'll be back at you later, Chiefs Kingdom, probably with a, preseason game wrap up, a little, post game analysis.
Yeah, we'll probably do a little instant reaction to it. Maybe get it out Sunday morning for you guys. So stay tuned for that one.
That's the plan. We appreciate you guys. Have a good one.
Be good.
Football's back.
There goes a sight from my soul.